Hello dear students, welcome back to physics online class. So it's not a bridge course now onwards. So today onwards we will start that actual syllabus related to first PU chapter. So before going to discuss about that actual physics chapters, so just a small advice for you people. So whatever the score you got, so whether it may be a high, whether it may be a low, so it's according to you. So for my view, just forget about your results. So if you score high also, don't take it as overconfident, or if you score too less means don't get depressed, nothing like that. So you read and you got some amount of marks, so that's it. So just you have to move on from that one. So how to look at what next you have to do after that SSLC. So means whatever the things you are unable to do in SSLC, so let one more chance, so we'll do in PU field. So today onwards we will start that first PU chapter. So hope you know about my name. So myself Bhiman Goda Biradar. So I will deal with a physics chapter here. So in physics, so there are two parts are there. So in NCERT textbook, so track 1 and track 2 will take. So better you download that NCERT textbook, means from that Google Play Store. So you can download that all kind of textbook here. So in case of physics, as I mentioned that, so there are totally two parts. I can take two tracks here. So let me glance what are the topics are present in case of that first PU physics. So eagerly I am waiting to start that first PU chapters. So come along with me to start that first PU chapters. So in track 1, so we're going to understand about that first thing. So that is very much basics. So that is about physical world. So I don't want to explain about that marks carrying chapters. So just will look at that what are the chapters you need to understand in first PU physics. So first one is physical world. Second thing is units and measurement. So hope we spent a lot of time on that units and measurements. So maximum 80% of portions already I covered. So don't bother. So we'll repeat in future classes. So third one is motion in straight line. So I think we got some basic informations about that motion in straight line also. So more than 70% of the topics portions already we covered in bridge course. So if you are not following means just follow those previous videos. So if you want about these chapters. So next one, motion in plane. Motion in plane. So it is nothing but 2 dimensions. So don't get confused. Motion in a plane means. So fifth chapter is laws of motion. Laws of motion. Next, work, energy, power. And next one is system of particle. System of particle and rotational motion. Rotational motion. And eighth one is gravitation. Gravitation. So don't scare about that chapter. So in 10th entire that includes physics, chemistry and biology. You got that around about 15 chapters I think so. So in each and every subject we will get more than 15 chapters. So one more thing I want to make you clarity here. So about that motion in a straight line, about that plane, so about that laws of motion, work, energy, power and gravitation. So already these concepts already you read in your high school physics. So upcoming means some depth concepts are present in these chapters here. So in track 1, so these are all the chapters. So in track 2, so in NCERT textbook, so there are two parts. So one is part 1, part 2. So in that part 2, so in that track 2 I can call, or part 2 you can call it. So that is, so just I will write it here, mechanical properties of solid. Mechanical properties of solid. And Next chapter is mechanical properties of fluid. Mechanical properties of fluid. And next chapter, so that is thermal properties of matter. Thermal properties of matter. Next one is thermodynamics. Thermodynamics. And next one is kinetic theory of gases. Kinetic theory of gas. So next chapter is waves or oscillation, you can take first. Oscillation. And so next one is waves. So this is about all first year physics topics, so in track 1 and respectively in track 2. So out of these chapters, so I will choose one interesting chapter, so that is a link for that all the chapters. So I will start with the topic thermal properties of matter. So first you understand this chapter, so then mechanical properties of solid and fluid easily you can understand here. So just allow me to discuss about that track 2 chapters. So those are, so mechanical properties of solid, mechanical properties of fluid, thermal properties of matter, thermodynamics, kinetic theory of gases, oscillation and waves here. So now we'll discuss about that thermal properties of matter. So the word itself indicates that thermal means it is about heat here. So I hope already you heard that name heat here. So what are the importance of heat here? So is that heat is very much necessary for us in day-to-day life. So just you may imagine that one. So whatever that electricity you are producing from that thermal power plant. So I think you heard about that a Shakti Nagar thermal power plant and Kudligi thermal power plant. What's the role of that thermal power plant? So that name itself indicates thermal means heat here. So they can convert that heat energy into electrical energy. So I hope you know about that. So conservation of energy. So from the conservation of energy concept, we can convert that one form of energy into other form. For example, I need electrical energy, right? So in order to get that electrical energy, if I am having heat energy here, that heat energy I can able to convert into electrical energy. So look at here, in order to convert that one form of energy into other form. So for example, if I am having heat energy, that heat energy I will utilize, means that heat energy I can able to convert into a electrical energy. So that is thermal power plant. And nuclear power plants also there. So power plants means which produce that electricity in a bulk manner. So or leave that one. For example, in case of vehicles, we are filling that petrol or diesel. So what's that role, means why you are going to fill that petrol or diesel? So inside that engine, so that petrol, or you can take that fuel here, so that fuel will get burned here. So if the fuel will get burned, means what it produce? So it produce that huge, means tremendous amount of heat energy will get produced here. So that heat energy I can convert into mechanical energy. So remember here, so heat energy I can convert into electrical energy, heat energy I can convert into a mechanical energy. Means if I am having heat energy, I am having lot of advantages of that heat energy here. So before going to discuss about that applications orientation, so just we will understand what you mean by that heat. So what are the basic properties of the heat, we'll discuss in this chapter. Then in case of thermodynamics, so dynamics, so that word itself it refers, dynamics means which makes it to move here. So how to convert that heat energy into mechanical energy, we'll discuss in next chapter. So we'll understand what are the basic properties of heat, we will going to understand in thermal properties of matter. So let me discuss about that thermal properties related to first year physics. So that is thermal properties of matter. Thermal properties of matter. So in case of the thermal properties of matter, which deals with the study of heat and temperature concept here. So in case of thermal properties of matter, it deals with the study of heat and temperature here. It deals with the study of heat and temperature. As I already mentioned that, so from that heat we are having lot of applications. So before going to enter into that applications point of view, so let me know about what are the basic things of heat here. So let me make you understand what you mean by heat here. So what's in your mind if you hear that word heat here? So of course heat is a form of energy. I hope you remember this statement. So what do you mean by heat here? Heat is a form of energy here. So is that definition is sufficient? So no. So heat is a form of energy, of course. So it is a form of energy which produce that sensation of hotness or coldness we can consider. So what do you mean by that heat here? Heat is a form of energy which produce that sensation of hotness or coldness. So we can say that, so this body, so in that summer season we can say that, so it is very much hot environment. In that winter season we can say that, so that environment is very much cold. So what do you mean by that heat here? Heat is a form of energy which produce the sensation of coldness or hotness. So in earlier days we got that means we are having different picturization of that heat. So we thought that heat is a liquid form we consider. So look at here. So in earlier days, in olden days, we thought that heat is a liquid. So but in reality it is not true. So from the certain experiment, so or from the certain phenomenon, we may believe that heat is not in liquid form. So look at here. So how can I say that heat is not in liquid form? For example, so if you rub that hand, so what happens here? So you may feel that warm like sensation, right? So there is no fluid items here. So why you are going to feel that warm like sensation? So this simple experiment we may come to know that heat is not in a liquid form. So did you get my point? So in earlier days we thought that heat is a liquid form, but now we realize that heat is not a liquid form. So for example, if you rub that hand, so you'll get that warm like sensation. So we may consider that heat is not in a liquid form. So we can say that heat is a form of energy which cause or which produce the sensation of hotness and coldness, or hotness or coldness we can take it here. So what do you mean by heat here? It is a form of energy. It is a form of energy which produce the sensation of hotness or coldness you can consider. So what do you mean by heat? It is a form of energy which produce the sensation of hotness or coldness you can consider. So now in case of that heat, let me understand about that what are the effects of heat or what are the basic properties of heat. So we can consider that what are the basic properties of heat. What is that most basic property of heat? For example, I will take this is one conducting material. So if I am providing certain kind of heat here, so look at here, so treat this is one conducting material. If I provide that heat at one end, so what about that other end here? Other end also get heat up here. Why that other end get heat up here? So I am not supplying that heat here, just I am supplying heat at one end, so that hotness will transfer to that other end here. So that hotness is transferred to that other end means, so that heat flow from that, so whatever the heat is there, that heat will flow from that high concentration to low concentration here. So remember here we are going to understand about that properties of heat here. So heat is transfer from that hot end to cold end we can consider. So that heat will flow from that hot end to cold end. So it is not reversible. From that cold to hot it won't get transfer. Heat will transfer from that hot end to cold end here. So what is that basic property we can consider here? It transfer from that hot body to hot end, it transfer from hot body to cold body here, transfer from that hot body to cold body. So this is the most basic property of heat here. So what you mean by heat here? It is a form of energy which cause sensation of hotness or coldness we can consider. So heat is always try to flow from that hot end to cold end here. So for example, if I am having one material here, so for this material if I provide the heat, what are the effects of heat I need to understand. So remember here, so now we'll understand very much important aspect related to heat, so that is effect of heat here. So in case of that effect of heat, so for example I am having one conductor here. So for this conductor I am providing certain kind of heat here. So if I provide certain kind of heat to this conductor, so what is the first change will get occur in this material here? So if you supply certain kind of heat to this conducting material, means what is the first change get occur in the material here? So the material temperature will get rise up here. So about the temperature I will discuss later on. So look at here, whenever if you provide that heat to the conducting material, then what is the first change will get occur in the material here? So the temperature of this material will get rise here. So what is the first change here or first effect here? First effect is rise in temperature. So look at here, whenever if you provide that heat to that any conducting material, first the change in the property of the material is, or what are the effects of heat we are going to discuss. So if you provide the heat, first thing is the temperature of this material will get rise up here. So again means after rising the temperature also you are providing the temperature. Then what happens here? After providing that heat, means after rising that temperature, again you are supplying the heat, means continuously if you are supplying the heat, then what happens here? So what is the second change will get occur in case of this material here? After rising the temperature, then next change is this material will try to expand here. So remember one point, so initially as you supply the heat, first that rise in temperature means the conducting material rises its temperature. For example, initial temperature is 30 degrees Celsius before providing the heat. After providing the heat, so the temperature of this material becomes 100 degrees Celsius. After reaching the 100 degrees Celsius also, again you are rising the heat here. So then what is the next change here? This material will get expand here, means volume of the material will get changes here. So what is the second change I can consider? Expansion. So look at here, so if you provide that heat to that any material, first there exists a rise in temperature. After that, so the material will get expand here. After the expansion also, again continuously if you are supplying the heat, means what is the third change will get occur in this material? So what is the third change? Can you guess it here? So the third change is change of state here. So change of state means this solid material will converts into a liquid, or if you are providing that heat to that any fluid, means that fluid will converts into a gaseous form. What is the third change will get occur in the material? Third change is change of state. Change of state here. So look at here, so third change is change of state. So change of state means solid converts into a liquid and liquid converts into a gaseous form here. And again after the changing the state also you are not living continuously if you are supplying the heat here. Then what about that fourth change in the material here? So fourth change in the material is there exists a chemical change here. So there exists a chemical change in the material. After that chemical change also, again so you are not living continuously if you are supplying the heat also. Then fifth effect of heat is, so that is changes its physical property. For example, initially it is solid here, so continuously if you are supplying that heat, means solid converts into a liquid here, so its physical properties are going to differ here. So fifth change is change in physical property. Change in physical property. So what are the effects of heat here? So effects of heat is rise in temperature. Whenever if you provide that heat to that any material, so in that material, first thing is the material temperature is going to be rising up here. After that rising the temperature also, if you are supplying the heat, means that material will get expand here. So that is the second effect of heat, means second stage you can call in other way. And after the expansion also, continuously if you are supplying the heat, means so then what happens here, it changes its state here. So it changes its state, means it converts from solid to liquid or liquid to gaseous here. So this is the third stage. And fourth stage is chemical change will get occur, internal property and as well as physical change, means physical property will also get differ here. So in case of thermal properties of matter, out of these effects, so we will be focusing on first one here, rise in temperature, second one is expansion, and third one is change of state. So in case of thermal properties of matter, in thermal properties of matter I said, which deals with the study of heat and temperature I said, so I restricted only for that heat here. So in case of heat, so whenever that heat is provided to that any kind of material, first temperature is going to rises here, next the metal will get expand here, next that it changes its state. So these property now we are going to study in case of effect of heat, so under thermal properties of matter. So which is the prominent method? So in case of converting that heat energy into electrical energy or heat energy into mechanical energy, so I said that we can convert that heat energy into electrical energy also, or heat energy into mechanical energy also. So in case of that thermal power plant and in case of nuclear power plant, so we are using fuels here. So in thermal power plant, which is act as a fuel? So in thermal power plant, coal is act as a fuel. So which is act as a fuel in case of thermal means in case of thermal power plant, coal is act as a fuel here. Why they are going to use the coal here? So they are going to use the coal for boiling the water here. So for boiling the water, if we use coal, means so that is thermal power plant. So remember here, for boiling the water, so ultimate purpose is, so in nuclear power plant or in case of thermal power plant, I need to boil the water. So in order to boil the water, I need heat energy, right? So that heat energy is provided by the coal, means so that is thermal power plant. So that heat energy is provided by the nuclear reaction, means that is nuclear power plant. The ultimate thing is, in thermal power plant or in nuclear power plant, I need to boil the water. Okay, so in order to boil the water, I will use coal or I will use that nuclear reaction. So what's the intention of boiling the water? I need to understand here. So if I boil the water, what is the maximum benefit I will get it here? So I will give one small example here. So look at here. So I will take one container here. So that container volume is, for example, 2 meter cube. So in that 2 meter cube, entirely it filled with the liquid. So 1 liter of water is present in this volume. Now I want to heat up this water here. So look at here. So if I start heat up this water, then what happens here? So this water will starts boil here. So if the water will get starts boil, means first means it starts boiling, means temperature of the water is going to be increases here. So for example, from room temperature 30 degrees Celsius is there. If I starts providing that heat, so first change is rise in temperature from that 30 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius, the temperature is goes on rising here. So then after reaching that 100 degrees Celsius, then what happens here? So next stage is expansion here. So what's that next stage? Next stage is expansion here. So next stage is expansion, means this water is try to expand here. So if this water is try to expand, means there is no enough space for that expansion here. So in that congested space, I fill that entire water here. So now I heat up the water here. So after reaches to that 100 degrees Celsius, this water is try to expand here. So try to expand means tremendous amount of energy is going to be formed in this container. In this container, what happens here? Tremendous amount of energy is going to be formed. After that expansion also, continuously if you are providing that heat, means so then what happens here? entire water converts into a steam here. So look at here, if entire water is trying to convert into a heat means, so initially 1 liter of water is present in liquid form or fluid form we can consider. That entire 1 liter fluid is converts into a gas. So imagine that 1 liter fluid is converts into a gas means, so 1 liter fluid is filled in the volume of 2 meter cube. 1 liter volume means 1 liter water occupies a volume 2 meter cube here. That entire 1 liter fluid is converts into a steam. So did you get my point? So I will take that 1 liter water, that 1 liter water occupies a space 2 meter cube. That entire 1 liter water is converts into a steam here. So entire 1 liter water converts into a steam means whether that steam occupies that same space or it occupies that more space here. So steam will requires that more space here. So 1 liter fluid acquires a space of 2 meter cube means the same 1 liter water means 1 liter steam occupies around about 200 meter cube volume. So this much of large volume requires here. So if this much of large volume is required, right? So here there is no enough volume here. So if there is no enough volume means, so then what happens here? At the top it starts exert the pressure here. So if it starts exerts the pressure means, so we are having lot of applications from that pressure here. So look at here, in case of that liquid, so when that liquid or fluid try to convert from that fluid state to gaseous state, I said that it requires more amount of space here. So if that sufficient space is not there means here pressure will get generate here. So now I will take utilize of this pressure in case of nuclear power plant and in case of thermal power plant. So in case of nuclear power plant and thermal power plant, if you boil the water, right? So after boiling the water, that water converts into a steam here. That steam having tremendous amount of energy. That steam will enter into the turbines here. So the turbines will get rotate here. So turbines will start rotating means that mechanical energy converts into electrical energy, right? So in order to convert that heat energy into a electrical energy, so for example, in order to convert it from that one form of energy into other form, change of state is prominent method. Why? Because if liquid try to convert into a gas means it requires huge amount of space. So look at here, 1 liter fluid occupies a space of 2 meter cube, I said. The same 1 liter gas is there. So that 1 liter gas requires more amount of space as compared to that of 1 liter fluid here. So if you are not providing this much of enough space, then what happens here? In that congested area only, more amount of pressure will get generate here. So that pressure is utilized for that conversion of one form of energy into other form here. So hope you understand today's session. So tomorrow onwards we will be focused continuation of that heat and effect of heat.